Alright, I've been playing with my tripod for a second. The light doesn't get any better. Overhanging lights, but we're back in the gym this morning, Tuesday morning, coming in at 6:35 a.m. So bear with me while I have my coffee. Coffee! Got 3 sessions this morning back to back. A little break to later this afternoon. I had this post I put up yesterday on Twitter. It was irritating me. I was just like, we really live in a world where we're all trying to root each other on to take care of ourselves. It's kind of what I've been feeling at the moment. I know I've said it before to my clients. I've sort of mentioned it's like each of us in our own way are trying to create something that inspires positive action in others. Whatever that thing is that we found, whatever tool is that we found for us. Whether that's fitness, whether that's coaching, whether that's whatever it is, that's kind of what I have felt like the crux of all this online stuff is. And then it just baffled me yesterday, I think, maybe after that episode, just talking about how much that it comes back to bringing everything back into you, right? In order to actually figure out who you are. This odd thing that we do where we try and ask outside to give us all these answers, and it's not there. It's always been here, but looking outside for ideas is great, but then, making sure you really work and test them on yourselves. And I think that's something where I had said before, and I've usually said it periodically through my life. It's like I'd rather be a waitress than do something I don't enjoy doing. And I think having always had that fallback on a mindset, obviously now it's almost like the gym equivalent, but well, not really. Personal trainer is a little bit different from waitress. Let's draw a line there, but I think it's in terms of trading time for money. Like, I remember the first move I left from Hong Kong back over to the UK after I'd been building the Howard sisters and stuff. This was before Spine. The first time that we left. Was it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was all before Spine. London was university after. Yeah, Spine was after. My goodness. Good morning. First time I moved over to the UK, I remember trying to figure out what job I could get where it was like the best bang for my buck in terms of responsibility, but also benefits and bonuses. Usually if you're working in the hospitality or a pub or a bar or a restaurant, you get fed on shift. For me, it was really important at that time to be stepping away from the alcohol and the modeling and the events and all of that sort of stuff, and sort of trying my hand at being a little bit healthier. So getting a job at a gym made sense. I was on reception at Gym Box in the UK for a couple of years, maybe a year. Meant that my shift was done. I wasn't called afterwards, and I also got a gym membership included in my job. I was able to go train at the gym and leave. I think that was one of the better experiences I had, actually. I still remember one of the trainers on my first week on reception come into reception and waltzed in, and he sat there and elbow on the counter, looked at me and he was like, "So, now that you have reached your peak and your all-time goal of becoming a receptionist, what's the big plan?" It just made me laugh, because not only did obviously the owners know that it was a very churn type of job, but it was also filled with a bunch of characters. Like, it was usually the actresses in town, especially around London, the performers, the dancers, the this and that would get the early shifts or be working at gyms in their daytime while they were trying to get to castings and build their dreams on the side. So yeah, it just made me laugh. But I think, coming back to this kind of whole thing about, I'm realizing that as you get higher up in the levels of the, it's not even the ranks, I guess, just the rooms that you're sitting in terms of figuring out how to turn yourself into a magnet, well, you got to take care of yourself. And so I think it's amazing to me how, in the beginning, what I was searching for was the tactic, was the thing, was the framework, was the business model, was the one vehicle, I guess, was the thing, the one thing, the one framework. Or maybe this is where a lot of people get stuck on the niche, where they're hoping that they find the one thing that then allows them to not have to maybe decide more things. I wonder if that's where it was coming from. But it's amazing to me how even at that point, when I was so flustered, I was so run down, I was so burnt out, it was still I was still fighting with myself that taking care of myself was the job. And I mean, the more and more I'm going, it like, just take care of you. Like, and this is where that kind of and both stuff starts to happen, where it's like if you're, in a job or in a role that has stretched you out, that has, got you feeling like you're on the edge of things, instead of feeling like you have to build something to escape that first, it's almost like every nanosecond of time you have spare, or every, like, in breath that you're able to take, like, how do you shift that out of just numbing yourself with TV, all that sort of stuff, and how do you shift that first into training or rest or exercise or hobbies or fun or nature or play or an artist date, or taking that, the first sort of block of time that you take out each week as a 2-hour block to have for yourself. It's very odd coming from a stressed out, like, way of operating to try and calm yourself down, and it feels so counterproductive and counterintuitive. And again, it just kind of reminds me where it's like, now I'm sort of sitting in all this thing, and it's the same information dressed up in different things, and the root of it is take care of you. And then you can take care of your ideas, and you actually have some sort of clarity, and you can have some sort of foresight into what it is you even want. I think that's the more nuts thing. We're all out there trying to figure out what we want when we're all in these frazzled states of trying to grab things around us, or just move from where we are into something different. And it's that distance and that patience, man, and that, that time. And it's hard because on the flip side, things can move so quickly when you've made a decision, and then when you just start operating in a new way. But really, like, the only person you truly have to convince about all of this is you. And I genuinely believe that the only way to truly convince yourself that you are becoming who you say you want to become is by getting over that biggest hurdle of taking care of yourself, becoming a friend to yourself, being nice to yourself. I think it just makes me laugh because I woke up today and, even Shoshana Raven's Obsessed Challenge, 3 steps. She broke everything down into 3 things. Slay your shame, sell your ass off, shake your ass. I'm pretty sure that was the 3 things. And it's like, this is 8-figure framework. And it's what I'm realizing now as you get deeper into the weeds. The best of the best, the coaches, they are physically changing you at an identity level, because as much as they understand that, yes, tools, yes, frameworks, yes, industry knowledge, yes, knowing how, what you're looking at when you're looking at the numbers, yes. Knowing how to put together a landing page, a payment link, yes. Like there are things operationally that need to be structured, but at the end of the day, if you do not believe in yourself and what you are doing, it makes all of this 1,000,000 times harder. And I think that's why a lot of these communities, they say it's a year membership. I mean, even when I jumped into Becca's Circle that year that Dad passed away, it was, even I was expecting that a year would fix it all. And it's like, it's taken a year inside her container to see how she operates, see how she runs it, see how the other students are operating and running in it, to learn those lessons, to then have a year out. I was hoping within that year I'd make the money to stay in, right? That's the whole goal. I was going through so much and so much grief at that time, and I had to honor the fact that that was my path and that I do take my own sweet ass time with some of this shit. And as much as I get annoyed about that sometimes, I'm also grateful that you know, it was after the agency stuff where I had that issue with my business partner that and went into this digital economy thing and started building for myself, that I've said to myself all along this journey is like, just don't rush it if it's not feeling right. And, I think one of the bigger things for me was because I enjoy so many different things. I enjoy doing so many different things. I enjoy working with quite a lot of different types of people. It was always easy for me to get not sucked on board, but I can get on board with a lot of things, and a lot of things I can find that excitement for. And so it was more being very aware not to jump on somebody else's excitement for something that I feel like I should be doing, and make sure that as I'm building it, it is what I want to do. And, looking back now, I hadn't realized that I needed 3-4 years to just fucking get some distance between who I was, the injury, the spine, it's been nuts when you think about what actually has happened. And I'm sure even in your life too, coming through COVID, now coming 5 years out of that, I don't know, I think we're very easy to do a number on ourselves and then give ourselves a hard time for it taking so long. And it's like, the time is going to pass anyway. And the harder you give yourself shit for where you are, I genuinely think the longer it's actually going to take, because the more you're still in that mentality of I must beat myself down in order to get some sort of outcome. I think it's the wrong mechanism for magnetism, for sure. I genuinely feel like the people that I'm seeing, the ones that truly exude that, the confidence, the playfulness, the fun, they're not beating themselves up every morning in order to operate like that. Like, that is their default level. They have learned to operate from a state of play, of joy, of wonder, of curiosity, of that place, not negating the fact that life will have its shitty days and everybody's going to have their ups and their downs. This isn't a case of like toxic positivity, but it's a case of baseline positivity, I guess, instead of the baseline being set so low. And that kind of just pulls me back to that tweet that I posted the other day. It's like, how has it got to the point where we're literally just telling each other to look after ourselves? And that's the one thing that honestly feels too easy, that it can't be correct. It can't be correct. So, I implore you, we are now in August, to take a look at the rest of your year. I genuinely feel like, coming back on the gym floor has been one of the most ludicrous things I could have done in the last quarter. And I am so grateful, one, for catching myself when that shitty little mind went, no, you can't do that. Watch me. But two, just what it's shown me about how much I have changed. And I think that, the recognition I was actually talking to one of my other clients recently, doing the data, we're tracking the meals. He was giving himself a hard time about the macros and all this stuff, and I just kind of had to step back for a second and just say, can we just take a moment to actually appreciate what you've done in terms of coming into the gym 3 times a week, tracking your macros, you've been losing weight, you've had family in town, you've had functions on, you've had all of this sort of stuff. Your weight's been periodically going down, which is what we had set out to do in the first place. And now you're finicking and taking apart the macros. I was like, there are certain snacks if you enjoy, great, like let's fit them in. Let's not make this into something that's so miserable that any chance you get, you want to escape or cheat or like, because again, it's like, how is that cheating? The fact that we're pulling ourselves away from this healthy body and this, oxygen and fuel and incredible vessel that we have to work with, the fact that we shit on it and then expect it to function, and then when we start trying to take care of it, that we shit on it to try and get it to function. And it's like, oh, it's just change the reverse, like turn this into something that is fun, is fueling, doesn't give you a hard time if you fall off, because that's fucking life. Like, we're never going to be on the best optimized macros all the time forever, and what kind of fun would that be? I think one of my coaches, Lucas Hardy, posted a meme recently, and it went viral. He had that biohacker guy who's just been told he has cancer, right? Done everything right, done the supplements, done all of that, trying to aim to live to whatever. And then on the other side of the photo was the 98-year-old Italian man who's just sunshine, sea, and cigarette in his mouth. And it's like, we've been sold the wrong thing of longevity. It's almost like now where our attention is being pulled into something, and it's making it not fun. We are actually very intuitive beings, and same as what I was saying to this client. Yes, like, we've now got the food under control. Now it's a case of you feeling the difference in what foods fuel you and what foods make you feel more drained. Like, but that's you learning you. I was saying to my friend the other day, actually yesterday, we're all just complicated plants, and we need to learn how we grow, how we operate, how we light up with different curiosities. Like, what brings that? That goes all the way back to when I was in the agency and I was really struggling with even finding my own identity again within all of that. And I was like, all right, strip it back down. Literally, strip it back down. More of this, less of that. Anything. I had to focus after that was after Vipassana. I had to be very aware of what my body was telling me. When things came in and I got spidey signals, it's like, more of this, less of this. And it was always less of the things that make me feel like I'm feeling overwhelmed and like frazzled, and more of the things that light me up. And that was my only guidance system at the time. Like, you don't need to be able to see the whole fucking road. You only need to be able to change trajectory that much. That's it. Anything that's throwing off red alarm bells, anything that's absolutely draining you, how best in your current situation are you able to start minimizing some of that, or at least from the baseline start inputting things that actually start to light you up, because that's what pulls you from the darkness into the light. The light is there. It's all around you. It's what you're choosing to see and how much of it you choose to see on a daily basis. And I think we've lived, there's so much with this media, with this shit, and it's just, we're just buried under this, is all this, how I'm visualizing it right now. It's like we're all just buried under this darkness, and it's like it's up to us to kind of sift through it and go, nope, let's just clear that a little bit and let some light in, open a window, dust out the cobwebs and like start anew, start anew. And I just, with these devices and the internet and what we have available at our fingertip, it is time for the creatives. It is time for the entrepreneurs, the individuals, the ones that genuinely just want a different life. We can build it. We can do it. And I'm fucking sat here still working another part-time job, like, I still believe. And now, again, it's always just pegging, just clicking as well. It's like, it was never for anybody else to believe in this. I was the last person I had to convince of my dreams. And when I'm looking at it now, like everything I've been doing, My husband has supported from day dot. So is my best friend. So is my inner circle. So have the people around. They have been rooting for me, and due to the way that I've had to drag myself, and I just put myself in different situations where I know I will change as a person. And again, this was one of those things where I was like, I would like some extra play money for my side quests. Bing, bing, bing. Job opportunity. Oh, and your friend is the general manager. Oh, and you get to set your terms and conditions. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can go test how that feels, putting up our boundaries, being in front of people, and operating in this environment. And holy crap. Holy crap. I'm very proud of myself. I love my friends. I love my husband. I love the life I am building. I can see my vision, and honestly, that is the only thing that matters. As long as you can see it, as long as you know what you're working towards, keep working towards it. You will bring it into your reality. I shit you not. Use content, use these tools, use it to viscerally bring it in, but use it to project you forward into your own reality, and not in a performance way. Not in a performance way. The game is how comfortable can you get as you on and off this. Because when that happens, watch out, world. Like, it's a whole new level of this game. And I think on that note, I will leave it here. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my coffee and get my client's program sorted before my day starts. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ooh, Wednesday. I've got a really fun chat actually with Caitlin, a friend of mine, another YouTuber, Make Life Medicine. If you follow her already, go have a little follow. So that's going to be fun. See, go find cool people. There are such cool people out there. There are such cool people doing such cool things. And it's like, just go find your friends. Go find your friends. Go have some fun. Go find the people that understand you, because they are out there. They do understand you. We get so alone in our own little misery. And it's like they have said, misery loves company, but so does joy as well. It's nice when it's shared with others. And I've said it before, it's those 3 levels, right? You want coaches and mentors that you're learning from, peers that are alongside you that are also building and are in the trenches, and people, clients that you are testing and that you are teaching and you are building for. Those 3 blocks. Once you get those 3 blocks sorted, you bounce between them, you build, you see, you move, find your own heartbeat again, find your own voice again. It's in there. I'll see you guys tomorrow.